Well, if that doesn't get you going, this will. Curry. Curry conjures up many different thoughts with many different people. But until recently, curry was a standard little jar that you got on the shelf at the supermarket that was basically a spice in itself. But curry is very misunderstood. The word curry really means mixed spices. It's, in many cases, a stew for Southeast Asians and Asians. It's many different spices thrown together, and curries can range quite dramatically from one region to another. A curry in Japan versus a curry down in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia can all be very different from the standard curry powder that we get on the shelf. Now, this curry powder, just so you know what's in it, let's have a look. This one's got fenugreek, coriander, cumin, turmeric, celery seed, ginger, mace, black pepper, red pepper, and dehydrated garlic. Well, that is sort of, call it the Westerner's view of a standard curry powder. But this is not the same as what you would get everywhere else in the world, particularly when you go to India and Southeast Asia. The curry powders you would get there, mild, medium, or hot, whatever it may be classified as, will be pretty much dependent on the local culture and what is predominant in the spices. There are certain things that are common in many curry ingredients as far as the spices go, and we'll have a look at some of these. Here we have a typical Indian spice container that I got in Little India, and you can buy these there, and they have either a clear top so you can see your spices, or they have a solid top, and they're airtight so that you can keep your spices ready to use in amounts that are appropriate for cooking a curry. So let's have a look what's inside. Inside you have little containers, stainless steel, that contain some of the prominent spices that I use in cooking for my curries. Now we'll start off over here, and we'll have coriander seeds. Coriander seeds are very crucial. Coriander and cumin are probably the two most common ingredients, along with chili, in a lot of the bases of the curries. Now, you can either use the powder that's already been ground, or you can roast your own seeds and grind your own powder. That's very common. Much fresher, much nicer flavor as well. Back over here, we have cumin, which I mentioned. Now, cumin looks very much like the coriander powder. However, the seeds are quite different. So you got to be careful about not mixing the two up, but you'll find they're a base ingredient in many of the curries. We also have mustard seeds, which are often thrown in and toasted in some oil, or dry toasted until they pop. Those add another robust flavor. And over here is fenugreek, another ingredient that's used in a lot of curries, particularly down in the south. Now in the middle is a very special powder called garam masala, and this is very crucial in a lot of North Indian curries. It's a mixture of aromatic spices and was sort of like the pinnacle of flavoring used in a lot of the Mughlai cuisine in the Indian courts of days past. So garam masala, you want to make sure you get a good quality one that's got the pure ingredients, because there's some more expensive spices that are found in it as well. There are many other spices that make up an Indian curry, including cardamom and ginger, but we don't have time to cover those today. Those will be next time. However, one very important ingredient we do have to mention is turmeric. And turmeric comes from the turmeric root, and it's pounded into a powder, and this is the ingredient that gives all curries its yellow color. The more turmeric, the more color and more yellow the curry is going to be. However, not all curries have turmeric. That can go with itself as well. And the other ingredient that is found in most curries, but not all, is chili powder. Here's some of Manara's chili powder, and again, it will dictate the kind of chilies used and their origin about how hot it will be. It's not just a simple case of a teaspoon of chili powder. Each brand can sometimes be a little bit different. And when the waiter says to you, "And how hot would you like your curry, sahib?" be very careful. If you say extra hot or hot, you might find it burning your tongue. And there's nothing worse than having a delicious dish that's being ruined because you had it too hot. Better to go a little bit on the lighter side, particularly when you're ordering it from an authentic restaurant. Okay? So we'll cover curries a little bit more in depth next time here on Spicy Steve's Asian Secrets. I'm Spicy Steve for Shaw TV. We'll see you next time.
For recipes and information on cooking classes, visit spicysteve.com.